Are we live? What's good, great people? I am Ezel Moon, and I have a special guest today in the building, my soror, Sophia Casey, founder of Sophia Casey Enterprises. She's an international award-winning speaker, corporate trainer, and executive coach. Now, people know her as Coach Sophia Casey. And man, let me tell y'all something. She specializes in empowering leaders to achieve success in their professional and personal lives. This conversation is brought to you by Spirit Tree. If you're in the Austin, Texas area, make sure you download Spirit Tree to your phones and order your food and beverages through them. All right, let's get this started. What's going on?
Hey.
Hey, what's good with the Soros? Hey, Soros. What's going on?
Good to see you. Hold on, let me get myself together here so I make sure I see you live and in living color.
Most definitely. I did a little introduction about, letting them know about you, letting them know that, you are a executive coach, you're a corporate trainer, international award-winning speaker, founder of your own enterprises. I mean, I know they're going to learn a little bit more through the conversation, but I had to let them know, give them a little bit of the basics, just a little basics, just a little sprinkling of
just a little sprinkle.
Don't
hurt them. Don't hurt them.
You hurting them. Shoot, you doing dynamic things in this world. Yeah. All praise to the Most High.
All of it.
Now, let me start with this hard hitting question, if you don't mind.
No, not at all. Let's go.
Okay, so here's the hard. Now, I was doing my research, and I found out that you enjoy dancing. You like Zumba.
I like all dancing. Dancing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's your favorite type of choreography?
Oh my God, twerking. Just kidding. Now, come on, Frat. Now, really. Honestly, I like all kind of music. I love dancing. I love movement. I love probably jazz dancing. Yeah, I like jazz, modern dance. I do it all. I'll do it all. I'll at least try it.
That's nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like what I used to not be able to dance for a while. Like my arms and my legs weren't really coordinating. But I had to practice in piece by piece. I would move one arm, and then I do the other arm, and one leg, and the other leg, and then finally, I looked cool when I was doing it. It took some years, but it worked. But no, sincerely though, doing my research into you, I found this: Black women endure the constant trauma of demoralization, denigration, mutilation, and sexualization that makes us want to retreat. We are brave while our hearts break with disappointment as we shoulder the obligations of our families while upholding our homes and communities. We yearn to give ourselves grace, allowing our feelings to be what they are as we balance mental tenacity with emotional tenacity. Now, a wise woman said this, and that wise woman is who I'm speaking to today.
Thank you, Fred.
No. Can you please speak to us of the Black woman's plight and how your work helps them?
Yes. Well, I tell you, I first thought like, oh my gosh, I don't want it to be doom and gloom, but part of our reality is doom and gloom, right? So I also don't want to pretty it up as well. But, growing up in South Central LA showed me a lot. It showed me a lot. It taught me a lot of tenacity. It taught me a lot of fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. But yes, we as Black women, we have been through so much. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but like and I'm not just talking about slavery, like, right? So that right. We know what that's all about. We know that happened. But even though slavery is over, I find that we as Black women are still being challenged by people thinking that we are wet nurses. People thinking that we are supposed to take care of them. People thinking that we're supposed to carry the plight of this country and the disgustingness of, of this country on our back. I mean, look here. as usual, once again, Black women are saving the day.
Yes.
Once again, Black women are saving the day. Shout out to wonderful, my D9 sister, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Yes, 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 yes.
Amen. Amen. Rooted that one. Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it's like just watching her whole campaign and seeing the horrible things that were said about her, the scrutiny that she had to go through. I used to work in the White House, so I understand that a lot of political candidates, like, that's a part of the game, that's a part of the process. But it went even deeper. It went even deeper with her, and I'm sure you all can relate as well. It's like Black women are constantly seen as the threat.
Yeah.
Constantly seen as a threat. And I get it. I get it. At least I think I get it. I get it because we are so freaking powerful. We are so powerful. We are powerful beyond measure. Beyond measure. And I'm having a conversation in a couple days around Black women and sisterhood. And I keep saying, world, watch out. Don't let us put down, you know, our sticks and put down our judgments and our jealousies about each other as women. Yes, sisters, I got to keep it real. Don't let us put that down and really deepen our level of sisterhood. We're going to shut it down. We're already doing it. We're already doing it.
Yeah.
Already doing it.
You guys really, you know, you really are. And and like you said, you know, I feel like that is part of the reason why, you know, there's such a rush to silence the Black woman, you know, and
Yes.
it is a terrible thing that's, you know, it's a terrible trait that carries on into today's culture, even in subtle ways. Now, you're the author of Fierce Vulnerability, A Colored Girl's Truth, Triumph. Now,
ain't she pretty? Ain't she pretty?
Now she is. And
Black woman artist. Ain't she pretty?
Hey, look, I love it. I really do. Now, can you bring us into your creative process and how that book came about?
Yeah, so I really believe that this book was planted in me. Like, I honestly do believe that. I believe the Most High said, you must go tell the story. And so it's a story of four, I might add another one, four Black affluent women on the DC political scene. One of the characters is running for political office. So everyone keeps asking me, oh my gosh, how'd you get this book written so fast? You know, you mean when Kamala Harris started, you know, announcing she was running? I'm like, no, I wrote this book 4 years ago. But as the divine would have it,
yes,
had it released this at the perfect and divine time. I love how it works. I'm so glad we are a spiritual people and we understand that we can understand and trust the process. So I trusted the process.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and I just allowed it to happen and unfold as it should have. And I'm so grateful to say that so many people are being captivated by the story, because it takes you through the lives, just a sneak peek of the lives of these four Black women and how we naturally bring our fierceness, right? Our fierceness is in our DNA, right, sisters? Fierceness is a part of our natural DNA. Okay, we're birthed fierce. Like, boom, here comes the baby. Baby girl, bam, fierce, bam. We are born that way. It's in our DNA. It's in our makeup. And at the same time, what this book talks about and what my conversations have been talking about along this virtual book tour is, are we willing to balance that fierceness also with some vulnerability that says, hey, sister, I need you. Hey, frat, I need you, because I'm hurting, because I'm tired of carrying the weight of this country that treats us as though we are less than animals. I'm tired of carrying the weight of a country that allows a man to put his boot on the neck of my brother and not even blink an eye, and have so much arrogance that he sees the people snapping pictures and doesn't move. So it's like, taking all of that, certainly the fierceness, absolutely. We have, our fierceness was our protection. Our fierceness is our protection. And at the same time, though, Fred, I believe the more we tap into our vulnerability, the more we are able to really connect with each other on an authentic level, the more as a community we're willing to have the real conversations, the even more powerful we will be.
Amen.
And so my book gives you a little hint in that. And this is the first part of a 4-part series. So I'm going to keep diving deep every year around this conversation.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
4-part series. Okay, we got more books to come. All right, all right.
You know how Deltas roll. Come on now.
Yeah, I feel you. All right. Now, can you talk to us though, of being able to balance that fierceness and vulnerability in today's time?
Yes. So, like I said, we have the fierceness, and
Right.
and the fierceness can show up in many ways. The fierceness, a lot of times when we think about the word fierce and we think about Black women, we think about like what, right? We got all that, absolutely. But fierceness and fierce vulnerability can also show up in the boardroom. When you walk in the boardroom and you're the only Black woman.
Right.
Fierce vulnerability can also say that I am willing to call out these Fortune 500 companies that are putting up all these advertisements with Black people and women of color all on the commercial. But when you look at their leadership, it's not one melanated person to be represented. So fierce vulnerability says, I am going to question it, ask about it, be a demand for things to change all the time. Fierce vulnerability says, I'm not going to allow myself to be in conversations where women are putting each other down. Where Black men are being put down. I'm not going to do that. Fierce vulnerability also says that I'm going to take care of myself so dang well that I can show up my most powerful self. I can show up armored and ready to go and fight the good fight and get in some good trouble, as John Lewis would say. Get in some good trouble because I've already poured into myself so much. I can go on and on. Frat, I told you. Like,
hey, look, you take your time. Speak to it.
I love this conversation.
Yes, ma'am. I sincerely do too, because we need that. We need more dialogue like this in the world. Yeah. That way we can actually take those steps further, those action steps, to being a global community, to actually looking out for one another like we need to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it starts with, I really believe that a big part of it is keeping the conversations alive. Keeping the conversations alive about the things that are happening out there, like you said, like you just read from an excerpt from my site about the degradation and putting us down and talking to us as if we're less than, not, only allowing a few of us into the boardroom and that sort of thing. And I'm going to keep having conversations about that. But I think it's very important for us to keep the conversation alive. I was having a conversation with one of my sisters. Shout out to Sister Cromwell. I'll talk about her in a moment. And the Pieces Collective. Yeah. So I was having a conversation with her, and she said, but Sophia, I hear you, but I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of talking. I know a lot of you can relate. I know you can relate, Frat. And I'm tired of talking too. But at the same time, I understand the power of conversation. Our ancestors didn't have any other means to communicate with each other. So when they got together, what did they do? They talked. They told stories. They kept the stories alive. They transferred story to person, to person, to person, story to person. So I feel like we have to keep that alive, because the more I go along this virtual book tour, and I'm doing this book tour for a whole year, the more I have these panel discussions every month, what I'm hearing from women out there, what I'm hearing from men, what I'm hearing from people who are joining in on the conversations is, thank you, Sophia. Thank you for just having the conversation happen. Right. Thanks for having the conversation happen. So I believe there's a lot of work for us to do, but I believe it's not either or. Like, either we go out, and fight this way, or we have conversations. I think it's both. It's a both and. It's not just one or the other.
Got it. So it is.
Get me on my soapbox.
Hey, look, I'm gonna keep you up there. I got more questions for you. I got more questions for you. Because you in your line of work, right, you basically help draw out people's best selves. Yes. When it comes to what it is that they're doing, the people that they lead. Yes. And you served as the director of First Impressions for a task force for the former Vice President of the United States. Okay. Now, Can you speak to that? Like, what was it like holding that position?
Ooh.
And, you know, and also, can you, if you don't mind, touch on how powerful first impressions are?
Yeah. So, you know, I was given that, I worked for former Vice President Al Gore on a task force whose charge it was, or our charge was, to reinvent government, to make government cost less, cost less and do more. I don't know how if we didn't do okay, go talk to him. But anyway, so I was on that task force, and that title was actually bestowed upon me by a senior advisor who reported directly to the vice president. And that title was given to me because I was so passionate, still am, very passionate about world-class customer service. And so in my line of work, I support a lot of executives, and I'm really focused on Black executives. I support a lot of Black executives around, you know, making sure that they are always focused on world-class customer service. And, you know, recently, you know, as I've been along this virtual book tour, Fred,
Right.
I've had to hire, you know, a lot of vendors, have conversations with vendors, business owners. And I will tell you, our people, I really do believe can use some support around world-class customer service. Okay, before y'all get mad at me, I hear y'all, here it comes. I'm not saying, I didn't say all of us, but I'm saying that some of us business owners could really use that level of support. Like, what does it mean to bring world-class customer service? I liken it to Black excellence.
Right.
Black excellence says that if you order something from me, yes, I'm talking to you business owners, if you order something from me, you're going to back your product or your service all the way through. I'm gonna bring it way down. If I order a product from you, it's not gonna take me 5 months to get it. Okay, so the vice president's staff understood that I was really, really passionate about customer service and giving and doing customer service on an unorthodox and out of the box type of way. And so now, as a part of my business, I do a lot of corporate training, and I go into federal government organizations and to private sector companies, and I do a lot of training around customer service and problem solving and team building, making teams stronger.
Yes,
to
ma'am.
bring excellence, not perfection. I did not say perfection. I said excellence.
Can you expand on what the difference is?
Yeah, I believe perfectionism comes from performance, or from you feeling that there's a lack of performance. So perfectionism, like, says, I'm going to get caught in analysis paralysis because it has to be this way. It has to be this way.
Right.
As opposed to the way I define excellence is, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to do my very best, and I'm really going to give all of my best.
Right.
And sometimes it may look perfect, and sometimes there may have to be some tweaks done to it. And I'm okay with that. So it's being really intentional about the experience that I want the customers to have. It's being intentional about what I'm offering you and what I want you to experience. But it's not coming from a place of, there is one way to bring it and one way for you to experience my products or services. I can teach a whole class. Don't get me started. I love the work that I do. I do a lot of soft skills training, and I love that world. And now in this day and age, those soft skills, oh my gosh, those soft skills courses, those skills are needed more now than ever. More now than ever. People don't know how to talk to each other. People don't know how to communicate with each other. You know, you got the Karens on one side, you got us on the other.
No, facts. That's facts. You're right.
Don't know how to talk to each other. Yeah. Don't know how to treat each other, you know, and you privilege. And what does that mean, and all of that. So I just feel like, you know, now more than ever, that skill set, those types of skills are so needed, especially navigating this pandemic. And what's the next 5 years, next 10 years going to look like?
Exactly.
Because of this. You better have some skills. You better know how to communicate. Your business better know how to bring excellence in customer service delivery. And we want Black girl magic. Black Girl, imagine.
Look,
That's all you have to do. Hire a black woman. You'll be all right.
you know what? I started an LLC. You know what? Thank you for that. Hire a black woman. I'm gonna just be all right. Bet.
You're gonna be all right. Just hire a black woman. You're gonna be all right. Just go ask President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. What are they doing? Y'all see who they hiring? Y'all see who they are bringing to the boardroom? Okay?
You're right.
They know.
You're right.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
Yes. Yes. You better bring some excellence to the boardroom.
They got to. They got to now. You know, we was in such a space that, hey, look, they finally realized, hi, black women, we gonna make it all. They gonna make it all work out. I feel you.
Yes. Yeah, we gonna be all right.
Yeah,
we're gonna be all right. But we have a road ahead of us. We have a serious road ahead of us, and you know, I really do believe that fierce vulnerability, like I said earlier, is calling people on the carpet, you know, saying what you need to say. Hey, Soror. Ooh, I see my Soros. Hey, so really calling people on the carpet, you know, and being a demand for us to be not an afterthought, like, oh, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We better have some people of color. No, not as an afterthought, but we are at the table when the decisions are being made. We're at the table when the ideas are being generated. And even better, we have our own.
Amen.
But that's a whole other life.
Look, now let me tell you something. A lot of times, you know, that I've had these conversations, we've always come to the conclusion that, yes, we need to build our own tables, but we also need to make sure that we have a seat at other people's tables as well.
Absolutely.
The same way that they do, you know.
I totally agree. It's a parallel track. It's a dual thing. It's not one or the other. Although, you know, a lot of my sister girls be like, no, we need 40 acres and a mule on our own island.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then I believe that it's both, like you're saying. Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Now, you are you are a part of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
I'm a little proud.
You know, and I love it. I really do love it. You know, how has being a part of the sorority, you know, impacted your path to success?
Oh my gosh. There is nowhere I can go. There is no corner on this planet that I can go where my sorors are not represented. And if for some reason I can't find my sorors, my frat are represented. Hello. And if I can't find my sorors or my frat, my D9 community is represented. So I tell you, I was clear. You know, I pledged at UCLA. Shout out to Pi Chapter. Ooh. I pledged at UCLA. Hey, single letter chapter. What? Very proud of that. Very proud of that. And I was clear even before getting to college that it was so important that I established community. Community. Not be by yourself, not doing things separate and alone. You know, that's why I talk to Black women about a lot. Stop doing stuff all by yourself. You ain't got to do stuff all by yourself. You have a whole arsenal of resources. So I was clear that I needed to establish community very quickly.
Yes, ma'am. And
Delta sorors were just constantly in my space. I grew up in South Central LA, and they were always really prominent in South Central LA, in the schools and the neighborhoods. And so it was a no-brainer for me when I was in pledge. But even through, you know, even outside of college, even through my entire career, yes, my sorors are like, yes. Even throughout my entire career, sorors have always been so supportive of me. And I mean, like, we wear hats, every single hat you can possibly think of. Every single one.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a soror.
That's good. Man, I'm so proud to call you. I'm so proud to call you my soror and be your
friend. Thank you. Pleasure's mine. I'm proud.
Now, you know, let's talk about your accolades and how, you know, the sorority view you. You know, you're a top seller on Amazon. You know,
right? How'd that happen?
Like, people really gravitated towards your work. Yeah. What was your reaction like when you found that out?
Oh, OMG. First of all, let me just say, I knew I had already talked to the publisher, so I knew the book was going to be released. We had a date in mind, so I wasn't really looking for it. One of my best friends happened to have her book released on, I think it was October 6th, I forget the date. Her book was being released, and so I was on the phone with her, and she's like, "Hey, Sophia, go on Amazon. Let's look for my book." So I'm on there looking for her book. She asked me something about how do you update your author page on Amazon. So I go to my author page to like walk her through it, and I'm like, "Why is my book up there too?" We didn't even know. So that night, I didn't know that it had been released. And so that night, so I dug a little deeper, looked at it, and it was in the top 100. Blew my mind.
Wow.
And I kid you not. So then I went to bed just floating, right? I'm calling my family members. I'm like, I can't believe this. I go to bed. I wake up the next morning, Frat, and it is the #1 new release on Amazon in dramas and plays by women. #1.
That's what I'm talking about.
Come on now.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know how we Deltas do.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, bro. You know, hey, congratulations. Like I said, I'm
Thank you.
proud to know you. That is what's up,
I'm
man.
so grateful. You know what? But I really attributed a lot to the community. The community, they rose up. They rose up to support me. Because I'm telling you, there was no marketing. No marketing had happened. It was the community. And it was my sorors, and it was my Black sisters, and it was my black and brown brothers, and it was women. They really, really supported me. Because it's like, how else do you explain it?
Right.
First fiction book. I did have another book that did very well as a journal called the Ease and Flow Journal, but this was my first fiction book.
Yes, ma'am.
Boom, come out the gate like bam.
like just hit them hard with it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Damn. So wait, real quick question. What number were you online?
I was the best number, of course, #7.
You like 2 away from
Hey!
the greatest. Like I'm a 5.
Okay.
Look, you got a bunch of likes because somebody's a 7 in this audience.
#7. Come on, where are my sevens? Where are my sevens? Where are my sevens? But five is the number of grace. So that's a great number. 7 is the number of completion. I said I had to shut some stuff down. Whoa. I was also my line president. Hey, shout out to them.
Okay. Mad respect. Now, you deserve your applause. You deserve the love. You deserve the support.
So grateful.
In this day and age, though, I just a question that's just on a random tangent. Is it still important for Black accolades to be highlighted? Like for example, the first Black woman to do this thing, or the first Black woman to do that. What are your thoughts?
That's such a great question. You know what? Honestly, Fred, I'll be in all authenticity, I go back and forth on that. Because on one hand, it's like when I see it, the first Black this, the first Black that. One of my colleagues, college schoolmates, Victor, I'm going to say his last, I can't remember his name. Victor, is it Victor Gray? First Black to go into space, I think it was. I don't know, something just happened. So it was like, oh, that's so cool. Then, and then the people who Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are selecting, first Black this, first Black chief of staff, first Black communications director, first Black this, first Black that. And on one hand, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud. That's extraordinary. Because they're breaking glass ceilings, right? They're kicking down the door. Okay? That's huge. And I'm so grateful for that, because in order for there to be a second and a third and a 132nd Black person in that position, there had to be a first.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm grateful. I want to always be clear that I'm grateful for that. Right. Our ancestors had to be the first a lot, over and over and over. Yes. At the same time, it pisses me the hell off.
Yes,
and the reason it pisses me off, because sometimes it's almost done in a way that's like, Let me throw this. There you go. There's a little
Yeah.
nugget.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a little nugget. Go take that little nugget, Black people, and go sit down and be quiet, because I'm gonna need y'all to stop challenging us. Okay. So we had, I was just talking to a woman who just hired me. I'm so grateful to work with her as her coach. And she's the first Black executive at a company that you all will know. So I won't say the company,
Right.
but let's just say they deal with they're involved in Planned Parenthood. We'll just leave it at that, right? First Black woman in her position. And the company leadership, you know, when they hired her, they were like, aren't you excited to be a trendsetter? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm grateful that my accolades got me, and my background and my education and my intelligence and my brilliance got me in this position. But why are we celebrating? That's nothing to celebrate. This organization has been around for decades. So I should be excited. And so it's like I go back and forth like, oh, I'm excited. So this is what I can do. Like I said, I don't believe necessarily you always have to have either or. I don't believe we have to either celebrate those accolades and those first or not,
Right.
or be mad. I believe that it's like, yes, let's celebrate our melanated sisters and brothers, because they are kicking down doors and we need them to do that. And at the same time, let's hold these companies and these organizations accountable for having them have to have a first. And then let's go build our own stuff.
There it is. There.
So we got a triple pack,
Right.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And the third one is build our own. Keep building our own. Keep building our own. Keep building our own, to where it's our norm that there are Black people. There are people that look like us, that understand our culture, that we have things in common with, that are sitting around the boardroom table. Like, that's normal. That's normal. I tell you. Woo! Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes, ma'am. That's gotta happen. That's gotta happen.
There's so much more.
Yeah. Man, because you're right. It has to be normalized. You know,
Yes.
I feel like by the time the next generation comes up, though, it won't be a thing. I feel like by the time the next, you know, my son, he's 2 now, but you know, by the time he's 18, 19, 20, he'll be like, yeah, you know, I mean, we all the first have been taken care of. Now it's just, you know, continuing the legacy, and I'm hoping that that's the case. You know.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the day that our sons, my son is 14, Josh, the days where they don't even look for who was the first.
Right.
Like, that's not even a part of their understanding. Or if they are looking for like who was the first, they're looking for like, oh, who was the first white person to be in this position? Oh, wow, you're the first, right? That they have their own companies, they have their own organizations, and they are represented in their own organizations, their own companies. I had my 14-year-old last year, earlier this year on his birthday, launch his own business, his own website, where he's going to support youth. He said, Mom, I'm going to support youth ages 11 through college age in learning how to play video games, but learn analytics and problem solving and things like that through playing video games. I was like, you better have your own business.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yes, but we want that to be normal for them.
Yes.
We want that to be their norm.
Amen.
Yeah.
That young man sounds very successful. Like he's going to be very successful. And I tell him that I'm rooting for him.
Yes, I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna send him to you, because I said I need all my frat to really surround him. Like, his dad is great, but his dad ain't no Omega. We're gonna work that out. But my frat to surround him. And look, then I'm gonna have y'all pledge my husband. But yes, I need my frat to surround him and surround all of our Black youth. Surround them, teach them, train them, so that entrepreneurship and not just like you said, not just having a seat at the table, but actually building the table is their norm.
Amen.
Yes.
Now, Now there's something that that you exude. You exude. I know you were in Success Magazine because you exuded, right? Oh yeah, you also in Sirius XM and also on another radio station as well. Oh yeah, I know.
Somebody did their homework, y'all.
So, I look, I'm trying to do this for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is what I want to be my space. But so, I love that about you. Now, but what are some of the habits, right, that you've seen of the most successful leaders that you've coached?
Whew. Okay, so oh my gosh, there's so many, but I'm trying to truncate it. So one thing is, so I use an acronym. I am. That's the easiest way for people to remember it. I am. I say the I is for inspiration. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. Inspire you, because as you go through the road called success, and as you're traveling towards that road called success, and traveling towards that destination of success, you're going to be hit. Like, it is what it is. Entrepreneurship is not for the weak at heart. Being a CEO is not for the weak at heart. Being a leader and a person in power is not for the weak at heart. You're going to want to surround yourself with people who inspire you, and also people like my sorors who can yank you up too and be like, "What you doing, okay, bro? What? No." So I say surround yourself with. I call it my good vibes tribe. Okay, surround yourself with a good vibes tribe, and then I say the A in I am is action. Faith without works is dead. We can be hoping and hoping. I hope one day. All my life I had to fight. I hope one day I'm gonna do this. One day I'm gonna have my business. One day I'm gonna write this book. One day I'm gonna, go buy some land. One day. You can hope and hope and hope and hope. And nothing wrong with having hope, but I'm gonna need you to get to work. Okay, and so in my work as an executive coach, and I also mentor and train a lot of coaches as well. But in that work, I am constantly supporting them around being in action. That's how I was in Success Magazine. That's why I was on Sirius XM. All this stuff, right? It's because of action. That's it. Be in action. And then I say the M in I am is for momentum. So be in action and then strike a match under that and go, and actually continue to move forward with momentum. And I say, one of the great ways to do that is invest in yourself. Okay, invest in yourself. Now, you just went and bought them cute shoes and sneakers, all this other stuff you don't need. Amazon's at your door every day like mine. Okay, so that's all right. But also invest in yourself, invest in your knowledge. The founders of Omega Psi Phi, they talked about it all the time. Knowledge is powerful. Invest in your knowledge, and also invest in having some support. And I believe that, coaches can be a wonderful, wonderful support. And so I happen to know hundreds who are happy to support you around no longer stalling and just talking about your goal and talking about your dreams. We're about to go into a new year, right?
Right.
Do y'all even remember? I'm asking your audience. I can see y'all. Do you even remember the resolutions that you wrote down and that you spoke on December 31st, 2019? Come on, friend.
I actually remember one, but the rest of them, no. But 1 year.
Okay, but you remember one. That's great. Because usually when I ask that question, most people don't remember. Damn. They don't remember. I'm
trying to think of because I had 5.
Look at that.
Man, but I remember one specifically because it actually it's doing the thing right now. But yeah, but no, wow, you're right. Okay, yeah, keep going though. Keep going.
A lot of us forget. When we go into the new year, round about week 3, we've let those goals go. We've gotten tired. Oh, I'm gonna work out. This is the year. Hey, I'm out myself. This is the year. I'm gonna lose those 50 pounds. Well, I lost them and found them again. Okay. So, no, this is the year. No, this is the year I'm gonna write that book. This is the year I'm gonna get married. This is the year I'm gonna, free myself up with forgiveness. This is the year I'm gonna do all these things. And then around the 3rd week of January, it's like, wait, what were my goals again? We let them go. We let them go. And so one of the wonderful things about, and you asked me earlier, like, how is it that you have been successful? How is it that you were able to do these things? It's because of support. It's because of support. I can't even imagine navigating this pandemic that we find ourselves in without my faith and without the support of coaches. I have 3. I don't play. I want all my support. Therapist, I got my pastor, I got a therapist, I got my 3 coaches, right? But you know, a lot of times in the Black community, we look at support like, that means I'm weak.
Speak to it, please.
That means I'm weak. That means I need something. That means I don't measure up. And what I say to that is a lie that you were sold.
Yes.
And that lie, just got goosebumps. Y'all in trouble. That is a lie that you were sold, that our ancestors were sold, and a lie and trauma that has been passed down year after year after year after year. Because think about it. It benefited them if you didn't go talk to your sister, or you didn't go talk to the Black person on so-and-so master, so-and-so's farm. It benefited them. They didn't need for you to talk to each other and support each other and help each other. Divide and conquer. And here it is, 400 years later, the same thing is still happening. No. Don't get help over there. Let me sprinkle a little competition in there. And so I just implore you, every single person who can hear the sound of my voice, don't do life separate and alone. I cannot imagine navigating all that's happened. Well, even thinking about my business, right? And I'm sure a lot of your listeners probably have experienced the same thing. Many of us had businesses, and then when March hit and COVID hit, your business was
Right.
Now what? Now what? And some of us are sitting back in our home offices, playing on social media and struggling and not reaching out for help. That is how a coach can support you. That's all. And don't let me start talking about how we stop it ourselves, but I can't afford that. Look, I say you can't afford not to. You cannot afford not to get supported. And we're just for the long haul, right?
Right.
I keep hearing everybody say, just let me get out of 2020. Just let me get out of 2020. And yes, I get it, because this has been tumultuous. But when the clock strikes 12 o'clock a.m. on January 1st, 2021, we still have the same issues.
Yep.
We still have a pandemic. We still have a country that does not see us as equal, that does not see our intelligence and our brilliance. We have the same shizism that we're dealing with. So make sure that you get supported. Get yourself supported. Yes. So you can go build those businesses. So you can write those books that tell the stories for our descendants to read. So that you can open those storefronts when all of this stuff finally passes. Be ready. This is the time to get in position, get in formation.
Amen.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Now, I want you to understand the goal of this show, right, is philanthropy. Garnering support from the onlookers and putting it towards a charity or nonprofit that you can.
Yes.
So what charity we're going to highlight today, and why is the cause of faith so important to you?
Oh my gosh, I have a few that I really, really love to support today. And I highlight them along my virtual book tour. I'm highlighting a Black-owned business at every single tour stop. Okay, I'm highlighting a Black-owned business, supporting, and sometimes several Black-owned businesses. I'm also, when I can, I'm also staying in a Black-owned venue.
Right.
Okay, so just last month I stayed at the Ivy Hotel, which is in Baltimore. Shout out to the Ivy Hotel, 6-star hotel, gorgeous.
Okay.
Owned by Black people. Okay. So Baltimore. So So this time I really want to just shine a spotlight on my sister girls business. It's called the Pieces Collective. The Pieces Collective is a nonprofit, and it's led by two sisters, Ikrama Muhammad and Karen Freeman. And the Pieces Collective's mission is to bring together makers. That is something that is dying in our community. People being able to make things with their hands. Okay, so they bring together artists, creatives, makers, and have them actually create their own things, handmade things, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I will forever support them.
Nice, nice. Okay, all right. So the Pieces Collective, and we're gonna definitely be making sure that we tag them.
Oh, thank
you. We're
you.
also gonna tag the Ivy Hotel.
Oh my gosh, they'll love that.
just so that we can show them some support, show them some love as well.
Yes.
And, you know, like I said, try to take a step closer towards becoming that global community and helping one another.
Absolutely.
Now, before we close out, I always want to end with wisdom for the next generation. For the kids that, you know, happen to scroll by and they say, oh, okay, well, you know, let me click on this, let me watch this, and they get entranced and they make it to this point. What words of wisdom would you have for the next generation, right? For those that are on their journey of turning their dreams into reality.
Yes, absolutely. I love that question. First of all, because my name Sophia means wisdom.
Right.
So I really like that question. Love that question. But I would say, you know, I teach a lot on a leadership model that I created called Leadership, Ownership, and Accountability. And I say to every single person, when I say the word leadership, I don't necessarily mean you're a supervisor or a manager. We all are leaders. Every single one of us is a leader of our life, okay, of our lives. And so I say, if I had to say anything and offer you anything, if you don't remember anything else, think about how do I show up every single day as a leader in my life? Okay, leadership, ownership. How am I owning my life and my destiny and my future? How am I owning it and taking responsibility? And then the A is accountability. I love acronyms. Can you tell? Leadership. That's because I couldn't remember anything in school. I had to like think of mnemonics and acronyms. And I was a school teacher forever, so that comes from that too. But leadership, ownership, and then the A is for accountability. Make sure that you are asking yourself, how am I holding myself accountable? What accountability structures do I have in place so I can keep advancing? I'm a football fan, so I can keep advancing the ball all the time, keeping my dreams alive and not putting them on the shelf. And so I would say that. Ask yourself, leadership, ownership, and accountability, and how am I bringing all three?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Most definitely. I'm actually a school teacher by day because that's how, you know,
Yes. You know, repeat that.
Yeah. I was gonna say
educate us.
Educate us. But no, before, you know, I know that was the last question, but before we close out, I want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your energy. Thank you so much for the knowledge that you have dropped. You are just a glowing light, a pillar in the darkness inside of our community. And I want to say we appreciate you and everything that it is that you're doing and everything that you've got going. We're speaking your success into existence, any field of endeavor that you decide to undertake.
Thank you.
No problem. And please let us know how can we support you? How can we follow you? How can we get touch?
Oh, yes. So so you can find me everywhere and you can always start with my website, sophiacasey.net. So it's sophiacasey.net as a net worth, honey. Okay, sophiacasey.net. And then on there, if you go on my website and you click on books, you'll get all of my tour dates for Fierce Vulnerability. Okay, all my tour dates. And I want to offer your listeners something very special. If the first person to put on Ezelle's page, the first person to put on Ezelle in the comments, the topic for my December 10th book tour discussion, the topic for my December 10th book tour discussion, if you put the topic name, in the comments on Ezel's page, or my page too, but Ezel's page, I'm going to send that person the ebook version of my book. And I'll send them a signed book too if they want that.
Oh, no, I'm doing it. Shoot, I want to sign book.
Wait, no, except for you. You can't play the game.
Man, dang. Y'all lucky. Man.
The giveaway does not refer to you.
So I'm finna find it right now. Finna figure this out. I know it ain't the 10th yet, but I'm gonna have some type of, I'm about to guess.
So December 10th, I'm doing another book tour, a virtual book tour panel discussion with a wonderful group of amazing Black women who are heads of organizations and nonprofits. And we are talking about a specific topic. Stop cheating.
All right. I will.
Okay, the first person. I'm gonna let Ezel tell me who that first person was, and I will happily purchase you an ebook version of my book.
Most definitely. Once again, I want to say thank you so much for your time, and
Grateful.
I appreciate you. And yeah, like I said, this is what I'm trying to do for the rest of my life. So, you know, if you know anyone that you would say that you recommend for an interview,
tons.
Send them over. Oh yeah, send them over. That's like I said, I'm.
Oh, I would love to. Every single one of my panelists, I know they would love to do it. Love to do it.
Awesome.
I got you, Fred.
Hey, all right, so hey, look, now you know.
I got you.
And I'm in the DMV area, so yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I moved out here. Yeah.
You know how we roll.
You are,
how we roll.
Look.
I got you. I've been doing this work a long time. I've been a public speaker for a long time. I love this work. I got you.
Thanks, Sarah. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome, Fred.
All right, you have a blessed, amazing evening now.
Good night, everyone. Thank you all. Thanks, Ezel. See ya.
See ya. If you don't know, you will know now. That was Coach Sophia Casey. She joined me for a frank conversation. I want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in. Man, there's a lot of knowledge. Run this one back, man. Run this one back. Get as many gems as you need to and apply it to your life, especially that LOA. I truly enjoyed and appreciated that nugget right there. Now, if you guys want to support me, consider making a donation to $EzelMoon, where I will take 60% of that and fund the show, and 40% will go towards a charity or a nonprofit of my choice that has been mentioned. And I really am thinking about going ahead and doing it towards the one that she mentioned today. So yeah, you guys, if that's something that you're interested in, I appreciate it. Once again, I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Purchase my book, Purple Mike Wants a Bike, at Amazon.com. You can find it there. Just type in Purple Mike, type in Ezel Moon, and it'll pop up. If you guys want to follow me, no, not even if, go follow me at EzelMoon_ on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people.